And welcome back to me. Now, firstly, I want to say thank you to all of those people who wished me well as I was lying there with a few broken ribs and various other ailments following a crash that I had with a taxi. Now, obviously, I've had the crash now, and you probably will get the biased opinion, which is the guy overtook me and then proceeded to brake test me, at which point I went through his back window. So there you go. You can imagine the fallout from that. Anyway, parking that to one side, I'm also not going to do that little trick again where I muted myself for the first, I think it was 12 seconds, which I figured out was just the right amount for people to go fiddling with the volume control before we had a "Hello, Hambini fans!" Yes, so you weren't expecting that. Anyway, I've missed this so much. Right. Now, while I've been recuperating, people have been trying to sue me. Yes, people have been trying to sue everyone's favourite 5-year-old. The people in question are Gerard Vroomen, Andy Kessler, and their company, Open Cycle. So, I've done a presentation all about it. So, I've been threatened with injunctions, being taken to court, and a load of other things. That was July. It's now November. They haven't done anything. I wonder what they're either, you know, being slow, COVID's holding them up, or they're not going to do something. To be honest, I don't really care. Because, I mean, joking aside, there's a few things that you're about to see that, as an engineer, and the people who trained me, they would be severely pissed off if I didn't fight for what was true, and to be suppressed, because I've got really no doubt that Vroomen, Kessler and Open Cycle, their primary aim was to bully me with a load of like big words to try and get the video taken off. I don't think there was any other real reason. They've put all this other blurbage in there, but I don't think, you know, that's my opinion. But nonetheless, we have a presentation. So I will be honest, this presentation is a bit rusty because I was having trouble using my pen. But we've got the pen going now, so we'll go for it. Right, let's start recording. Right, is it working? Fuck, I've no fucking idea. Right, let's click on the PowerPoint. Shit. Oh, here we go. Right. People always love my PowerPoint titles. Bear in mind that if I say anything defamatory, they will come and take me to court. So they say. Right. Open Cycle, Vroomen and Kessler weren't happy with the first roasting, so they've come back to be cremated. Cremated. I don't think they possibly realise what kind of mentality I'm like, because let's face it, I'm incompetent, I'm a dumb fuck, and I'm stupid. And I'm also 5 years old! Right, I've got to stop doing those stupid fucking sound effects. Fuck me. You can tell that I haven't done this for a while. It's like getting laid for a while. And as you can tell, some people have said that I have become more in touch with my feminine side by wearing my new salmon t-shirt, kindly supplied to me by DHB. PhD. I'm not sponsored by them before anyone says anything. It just arrived. I think one of my personal fans just sent me it, but they didn't put a note in from who it was from. But anyway, we digress. Right, a bit of background. This background, oh god, I hate those. People tune in for my fucking rants. Right. Open Cycle, this frame, I did a video on it. I can't remember when it was. Bloody fucking ages ago. I actually got the bike in, I think it was, could have been November last year. So that was November 19, it's now November 20, and this frame came in, and the chap who was at a bicycle shop, sent this frame in. So this is a picture of the frame, and I've described it as having a vomit paint job. Now, you know, some people will say, oh, I need to turn that laser pointer on. Yeah, pen. Right, won't you actually click the pen? I'm just checking. We'll do the pen is working. Check. Yes. Right. This thing, it was kept on shredding bottom brackets, and he sent it to me and he said, can you have a look at it, blah, blah, blah. So, fixed it, as best I could, sent it back, and then So that was January, maybe, I think it was January, I can't really remember. Waited. And it's purely because some of the statements I made, I wanted to make sure that before I made them, that I was technically happy with making them. Because if you forget me being a wanker, which I regularly am, I mean, who isn't a wanker? I mean, and a cunt. Yes, let's not forget that I'm a cunt. So, you know, I like to be honest. So, yes, I'm a wanker and I am a cunt. Most engineers are cunts, but anyway. Got this frame, checked it, fixed it, and then I left the video on hold for many, many months. Partly because of COVID, partly because due to COVID, you know, some of the things I needed to check, I couldn't. So I waited until I got all those checks done and then put the video out in July. After that, that's when this these guys threatened to sue me. Right, so this became the subject of a Hambini roast video. I mean, that's not really a great surprise. I mean, I don't make videos and just have reasons for disliking things. If something's good, I will tell you. If it's shit, I'll also say so. So in the case of this bike frame, well, fuck, where's my pen gone? Fuck, where has the pen gone? Oh, the pen's back, right. Right, yeah, so sorry. I need something better than this, right. So I said it was shite, and variations of it, 37 times is what I quoted. Its bottom bracket was utter crap, and in my opinion, I mean, these are all my opinion. I mean, anyway, and I said the overall bike was dangerous. Now, I don't make those kind of statements without real justification. So I spent a whole 37 minutes justifying my opinion. Right? Kessler, Vroomen and OpenCycle are I'm putting, well, this originally said suing me for defamation, but they haven't done anything so far other than got some solicitors to send me 2 letters. The first of which I replied to, and under the UK is like a pre-action protocol. There's certain things I asked for clarification for. Well, I'll explain what those things are because they're critical things. They haven't responded on any of those points. And that will be taken away, usually by a court, and they'll be asked to explain it, especially when it's one of these. Now, one of my previous jobs is, I used to actually be an air crash investigator. So when people are, you know, defensive, you can usually tell that there's something that they don't want to give out. And then I'll show you one particular thing that is pretty severe. But anyway, we'll go on to that. So anyway, they're trying to sue me for defamation. Right, the plaintiffs. Gerard Vroomen. So in his own words, he's like one of these top bicycle engineers around the world. Now, because I'm a complete twat bag, and I've put his picture up here, right? This bit where I'm drawing the pen is probably going to be overshadowed by my beautiful, youthful looking face. So anyway, this chap, and this is his LinkedIn profile. So I've just gone onto LinkedIn, and here he is. He's got his own background, everything, just out there sharing it with everybody. So he's got OpenCycle are gay as his company, Eindhoven University of Technology. Now, Eindhoven University of Technology is supposed to be a fairly good university. But anyway, and then he's also got, you know, Dutch Engineer of the Year, 3 Eurobike Gold Award, 2 Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year Awards, Red Dot Award, IF Design Award, right, so Gerard Vroomen. Now, in most relationships, now if you take Rolls-Royce, who make jet engines, there was Henry Rolls and Charles Royce. Have I got that the wrong way around? Bollocks. I'll be shot if I got that the wrong way around. Anyway, one of them is the engineer and the other one's the businessman. In this case, this relationship, this guy is the engineer. Sorry. That was, I don't know what it was just like a karma cough. Fuck. It actually hurts when I cough still. He is ex-Cervelo, so if you're not familiar with Cervelo and some of the shenanigans they have had done in the past, you know, have a look at that and we can see, you know, little undertones of that coming through in a minute. He likes to racial stereotype. Now, if you go on his website, you will see a section here where he sort of singles out Nigerian people. So he says, "I'm not interested in investment opportunities, not even if your father is a recently deceased Nigerian general." Wonder why he said that. And then, you know, I am getting sued for defamation. This is pretty tame for what he said. Look what he said. He said, Gerard Vroomen, "It's a bit weird. Nibali," I'm assuming that's Vincenzo, "believes in karma. He's a cheater, paid by Bahraini blood money, so no hope of winning." Oh, God. Can you believe that? As if he goes and messes around with these kind of people. I mean, Jesus Christ. I'm not very good with the pen today. All right, Bahraini blood money. Wouldn't say that. Anyway, God knows how many people are watching this. And then we come on to this, which I thought a viewer sent me this, which is Gerard's website. To sue or not to sue, that is no question. I think is that is no question, or that is not a question? No, doesn't really matter. We all laugh about it. The writer who threatens legal action just to try to convince us they really didn't do what some magazine, newspaper or website alleges. Kettle pot black. Do I need to say any more? I don't think so. Right, now we come on to Andy Kessler. Now, Andy Kessler, he is, in his own words, an ex-mountain biker. I think he's an ex-mountain biker. He was formerly the, I don't know. Well, he's the businessman of the relationship. I don't think I'm saying anything untoward there. I mean, if you look at his history, he used to be the director of sales, CEO, all of this kind of stuff. And he used to be in charge of BMC. Now, in the letter that I got from their solicitors, he was quite proud of this fact. So I, you know, had a quick look at it. And then BMC. So, BMC, they supplied Floyd Landis with his drug-fueled Tour de France winning bike. Is that something to be proud of? Is that something to be proud of? Would I go bragging about that? I fueled a drug cheat? I mean, he's convicted drug cheat. Anyway, he lives in Switzerland. Right, now, OpenCycle. OpenCycle is the love child of Kessler and Vroomen. I say that in the most, you know, fine way. Yes. Now, this is a hypothesis, but lots of people seem to know a lot more than me. Excuse me, I need some Coke. So they design frames in the West, get them made in factories, usually in the Far East, China, and they take advantage of the cheap labour. Now, some commenters, and I don't know if this is true or not, suggested this frame was made by Carbonda. I don't know. But that's what they said, and they also sort of hypothesised that it's, you know, $3,000 to buy, and then a couple of hundred to make. And again, I don't know if that's true, but that's what it was said in the comments. Now these guys, OpenCycle, and I can only assume that OpenCycle is either Kessler or Vroomen's Twitter account, because there's only apparently 2 people in the organisation, because they're trying hard to stay small. Now, if you're a small company, would you go and pick on a YouTuber? Well, these guys have. Right, they don't really like criticism. Now, here's one that I lifted earlier from Twitter. So this chap, he wrote into OpenCycle and just said, "I'm a customer of your open wide bike. I was just asking if you've seen Hambini video earlier. I like your bikes, but blocking me for asking the question is kind of suspicious and strange." So this is in German. Excuse my German. At OpenCycle hat dich blockiert. So that literally means to OpenCycle, so the at OpenCycle is the Twitter handle, have blocked you. Du kannst at OpenCycle nicht folgen und den Tweets von OpenCycle nicht sehen, da du blockiert wirst. So that literally translates to, you cannot follow OpenCycle, you can't see their tweets because you are blocked. So that's them. Right, their claims. So this is what they've said. They've said, your allegation that the frame contained multiple dangerous voids and was unsafe is false. Your allegations that the frame was otherwise incompetently designed and or manufactured is false. And your allegation that our client ignored a warranty claim from the customer concerning the dangerous voids is false. Now, the last one we'll come to, because that is just utter bollocks. I didn't say any of that, and I'll play video footage to show exactly what I said. So that one is just a lie. Is that defamatory? Not if it's the truth, okay? The first two are, strictly speaking, opinions. So if you look at that statement, your allegation that the frame contained multiple dangerous voids. So if you just say it's got multiple voids in it, that's not a defamatory statement. If you say it's got multiple dangerous voids and was unsafe, that becomes a defamatory statement, again, unless it's true or it is my opinion. So that is essentially my defense, and I will use that, but I don't really think I'll have to. And then there's the same thing for the second one. But, you know, I don't make these statements without justification, so I want the people out there in YouTube land to understand where this is coming from. Right, what they wanted, so they wanted me to remove the video, and I think this was their primary aim. Agree not to talk about Kessler, Vroomen or OpenCycle again. Well, that worked well, didn't it? Pay damages. For what? Pay their legal costs. Why? An apology. Yes, they should be giving me an apology. I'm not giving them an apology. I'm not giving them an apology for when it's wrong. So, you know, we have almost like an engineering do and don't do kind of thing, and this is just well, I don't know. Right, and the reason for this is, you know, they have to say why it's caused them serious harm. So the reason they used was their business had suffered serious financial harm because someone on Instagram said they won't buy an open bike. Okay, you know, because the strength of that isn't really going to cut it. I mean, the thing with these defamatory claims is, if you're going to claim for all of this, then when you get to a court, and I've been there before, they will ask you to prove it, and the burden of proof on the defamation claim, the burden of proof is on me to prove that, you know, my opinion or the truth is correct, and I'm quite happy to do that. I'll take you to the court. You know, I'm not going to shy away from it, and you can see why I'm doing this video, because I will strongly believe for engineering integrity, and that is, you know, like programmed into me. That is something I'm passionate about. In this channel, okay, it's come out about bikes, but really it is about engineering. Right, what they've ended up with. They've ended up with another roasting. Aha. And some serious question marks about their engineering. And that's what we're going to come to. Right. First thing, the bottom bracket. This, I just could not believe what they were saying, right? Right, we can read it. As for the bottom bracket shell, you allege that our client's design is poorly engineered and manufactured, in particular, is out with what you describe as the press fit standard. Does that make sense, or is it just me? If someone wants to chirp in and say that makes sense, please tell me. That is false, both as a matter of performance and because there is no mandatory standard specification for press fit which our clients could fail to meet. You state that press fit frame specification mandate a 46 plus to minus 0.05mm diameter. So, in a roundabout way, I didn't actually say any of that. I said their bike had a BB386 Evo bottom bracket, okay? What this is I can almost see connotations of this from what Cervelo did with moving the standards. Their next line almost hammered it into me. The next line, oh fuck, right. The next line was, Open uses left and right bearing board tolerances based on its experience to create the desired performance for its specific frames. What that's saying is, you see, when I measured the bottom bracket, one side was really tight and the other side was really slack. It was like properly fucking slack. There is no way any engineer worth their salt is going to design it to be like that. And that is just their justification for the frame being so far out, because I've asked them to provide the tolerances that they made them to, and I've asked them multiple times. I think I've asked them 3 times and they have failed to provide them. Now, if this does end up in court, they will be asked what your frame tolerances are, because that is a hinging component of why this frame is dangerous. So they'll be asked that. And the problem that they well, they've almost shot themselves in the foot, because you see, if you bought a BB386 Evo open up frame, right, there are some characteristics that the frame is implied to conform to. And I will come on to that after I play the 2 videos. But this is almost just a justification for what I found. So you've basically been sold a product by misrepresentation, and that is what I've told them. They've almost gone on deaf ears, but you know, I'm not going to really let it go. This statement said it was based on a PF30 standard. Well, in reality, this is what it says. So this is lifted from their website. It says their bottom bracket standard is BB386 Evo 86.5 to by 46. So that's what they say it's made to. So there is a standard for that, and I will show you that as soon as I play the 2 videos. So let's play video 1, which is this one. So this is not even my bike. This is this recording still? Yeah, this is a video of an open frame with its perfectly engineered bottom bracket, and someone is doing a spin test. So let's play it. So he's putting the crank on. Yes, well engineered that one. So I'll play it again. Not good, that. Now, one of the things that I get questioned a lot, or people criticise a lot, is they say, oh, Hambini, he only gets all the shit frames out there. Well, this is a frame that someone's called a dream bike build. So someone is going to get this, some unfortunate fucker is going to get this, and there is a problem with that. Because that's not spinning freely at all. So, you know, the thing is, yes, there are frames that I get which are basically shite, and I have to fix them. But the main underlying thought is there's loads of frames out there which people don't perhaps pay as much attention to, and they're still out there. So, you know, don't be under the illusion that it's only the crap frames that I end up with. I do end up with crap frames, but there'll be another 30 out of 100 that'll have some problem out there that just go undetected. I make that, you know, number up 30 out of 100. It's not really, you know, anything like that. And then the next one, let me play the video showing how well engineered this bottom bracket is, how asymmetrical it is. What this business about tolerances is. So BB386 Evo shell has a nominal diameter, so that bit there, of between 45.95 and 46 millimeters. These aluminium discs are what you could call a go or no go gauge. So they've got a number in there, 46.02, 46, 45.98 and 45.96. Ideally, what you want is, you want this to go in, yeah, but this to not go in. So that gives you the perfect hole. Now in the case of this bike, this is the 45.96. That goes in, no problem. So does the 45.98. However, the 46.02 also goes in. Yeah, so that side is a bit slack. And when I did a few more checks, what happened was, it was like a pin check. So the hole has 2 points on it which were slightly less than 46 mil, but as you push the bottom bracket in, you don't feel it. So if I flip this over, we'll do the same thing on the non-drive side. Start off with the let's start off with the 46.02. So we don't want this to go in. Don't go in, no problem. 46 doesn't go in. 45.98 doesn't go in. And 45.96 doesn't go in. Not a chance of that going in. So the hole on that side is way too narrow. It's also oval. So just to show the approximate number, 45.88, 45.89, so it's well undersized. And now we come on to the actual specs. Now, what I said was the bottom bracket needed to be 46 millimeters max and 45.95 millimeters minimum. And this is PF30 and BB386 Evo are effectively derived from a SRAM standard, because if you get the bottom brackets, you will find that you can use the same sort of press fit cups on both. The only difference is the center sleeve, if there is one, is a different length. Now, this is the SRAM technical document, and over here you can see it says 46 plus 0.0 minus 0.05. So there's your first statement, and the same thing on the other side. So this bottom bracket is symmetrical. It also lists a maximum misalignment of 0.1 millimeters. So the concentricity is 0.1 millimeters, which is, you know, in my opinion, I'd say that's double what I would expect, but you know, that's what it is. And then if you look here, PF30 86.5, oh bollocks, is BB386 Evo. That is the same. So what they've said is basically they're trying to justify why this frame, and these are the measurements that were taken, is acceptable. So it's, I mean, it's miles out. It's miles out. I would be ashamed to put that out and then try and justify it. And this is also why they haven't committed to having any dimensions. So if you buy an open up frame, then there's no guarantee that anybody's bottom bracket, let alone mine, let alone FSA, SRAM, whoever's, is going to fit. And if it does fit, you've got a problem where the bearings may drop out, which is listed here. Loosening the adapter cups from the, you know, it says here, the things that should be considered when evaluating the frame and bottom bracket interaction include, but are not limited to, loosening of the adapter cups from the bottom bracket shell. Frame material choice can greatly affect friction coefficient, and binding of the bearings within the bottom bracket. Now, the frame that was sent to me had both of those problems. And in the SRAM technical manual, it clearly says engineer your bike, so it doesn't. So I don't really know where they're going to go with that, really. But you know, I'll keep my eyes open. Then we come on to this. Vroomen calls himself an engineer, an amateur, and that's me being charitable. That's my opinion. But once again, I will always justify my opinion. So he is a bike frame engineer, so he should know his onions and he should know his apples. He's put BB386 Evo uses an 86mm, in brackets, no really, exclamation mark, wide BB with a shell diameter of 46mm. So, despite it having no mandatory specifications, he's given 2 away there, and then he's put uses an 86mm, no really. Well, actually, Gerard, it doesn't. And given that he is a bicycle engineer of God knows how many years, he should know better than that. To be honest, I mean, I know that. I'm not even a fucking bicycle engineer. Bloody hell. Right. Then we come on to what really did make me think, what an absolute... I can't say that, it's defamatory. Right. And then he's put, its shell is almost as wide, but the diameter is 37mm. Too small for any bearing with 30mm diameter. So what he's really saying there is, a bearing with a 30mm bore and a 37mm outer bore doesn't exist. Well, here's one I made earlier. Look, here's the pictures, but anyway, there it is. That is a 6806 bearing. So that is 30 by 42 millimeters, 7mm thickness. This is a 6706 bearing. That is 30mm bore, 37mm outside diameter. Perfect fit. Now, if he's an engineer, he should know that. That's just pretty much scandalous. I can't believe he doesn't know that. It's just ridiculous. If you're in that field, you should know that. That's almost like how can I put it? A paramedic not knowing CPR. So, you know, first responder doesn't know CPR. That is scandalous. Absolutely scandalous. So anyway, I've done the pictures on the left-hand side. So this is a 6805. This is the 6806, so that's a BB30 bearing, and this one is a 6706. Okay, so that is that. I mean, you're free to go and check it, but to you know, stop you from wasting your time, it's been available since 1968. Well, that's what the I can't remember if it was the SKF or the NTN man said, but you know, it's a standard bearing size, been around for that long. And there's the NTN book and that line there. So you've got, this is the bore 30 and the first line, first column 37, big D, and that matches over here, if I can get the pen to work. Got 37mm OD and 30mm ID, 6706. So I don't know, you know, people will say whatever they want to, but frankly, in my opinion, this guy should know that, and he doesn't. So it kind of puts you in the mind of what you think about him. Anyway, right. Right. Voids and general build quality, right? This bit I could not believe. My colleagues couldn't believe this either. Right, so Open have recovered the frame for independent testing, which is fine, and I openly accept, you know, go and check. However, they said in the letter they haven't even checked the frame. They have not even checked the frame. How can you write a legal letter threatening to take someone to court for damages, this and this, and then not bother checking the frame? You know, they haven't checked to see if I'm right. They've just gone off on whatever. So, you know, they obviously know that. So they've put, what I said, that's me, must be false because they are confident their frames don't have any voids. They haven't had any failures. They probably, I mean, they think they're pulling a fast one. I don't know anyone who hasn't had a bottom bracket or a bike frame or something fail. If you're a manufacturer, something is going to fail, especially if you've been in business for as long as they have. So, but I can't prove it. But again, that's my opinion. It's just a law of probability. And then the final one, oh my God, other people have copied their design. What a kind of a statement for your build quality and engineering. Other people have copied your design. I mean, other people copied the Concorde and they fell out the sky. Right. Oh yeah, and apparently I described engineering theory wrong, and that's another reason why I'm wrong. So let me read this out. Bollocks. Discard. Right, let's have a look. Right. This is what they put. In order to highlight the danger of the void, you use engineering theory for an isotropic material, and even the graph you explain incorrectly. Nothing like a bit of arrogance. The open-up frame is layered fibre resin composite structure, not isotropic. Layered fibre polymer matrix composites do not propagate cracks to the theory that you cite. Further, the fibres within the laminar act as natural crack stoppers, which is an indication of why composites designed for structural loading have fatigue lives well past the typical metal structure and perform to different engineering principles. So basically, I'm wrong. Well, to be honest, I'm an incompetent wanker, so there you go. And then he goes on and says, the testing you say undertook on the frame and ultrasonic inspection is not capable of identifying the existence of an 80mm void in the frame without having a baseline profile to compare against, knowing the construction of the frame, or in this case, the composite layup, reinforcements and the like. Whether the method employed was through transmission or pulse echo, the high echo of curvature, especially where the wall is thick, introduces further unknowns and noise to any results. The method cannot have produced any meaningful results for your purposes. Blah, 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 and he goes on. Let's have some x-rays. Right, so this is an x-ray. You can see, oh, fuck. Dear me, right. What, pen. Right, you can see, and the reason I've used this is because it gives you a bit of an idea of scale. So this is the bolt that holds your drink bottle in. So it's M5, I think it's M5, could be M4. I'm dyslexic and I'm a wanker, so you know, it could be wrong. And this might not be so clear, but what I've done is I've gone over here and there's a wrinkle there, wrinkle there, wrinkle there, wrinkle there. Thing here is a wrinkle occurs where the carbon, usually the effectively layers of cloth, move. So as they move, they create a peak. So it creates a high point, and then correspondingly somewhere else there's a valley. So where there's a valley, it's thin. Now the thing here is there's quite a lot of wrinkles, which I will show you in the next slide, and there's a void there. You can see that there. Now this bit, which I'm sort of highlighting here in red, is just background. So you shoot through. Where it's white or whiter, the material is more dense, so it is thicker. So in the case of this riv nut, probably aluminium, is quite dense. This area here is quite dense. Shooting straight through the frame, it's not that dense at all. Yeah, so let's go with that. What's the next slide? Oh, there's another void there. What I've done is to sort of highlight the wrinkles. I've bollocks, how do we get rid of the pen marks? Someone said there was a erase all link on slide. Yes, there was that thing there. Right, so what I've done is I've increased the exposure, if that's the right word. Oh yeah, and that's the other thing. I want to say thank you to all those people who allowed me to get the x-rays on screen. Now, if you're watching this, wondering how I did it, I changed the screen to white, put the x-ray in front of it, and then took a picture. That's how it was. And that's basically the main reason why I can't be bothered to put half the shit that it's just too time consuming, and I just like whack it on and then don't go into great detail. But on this occasion we're doing this anyway. Right, so we've got the wrinkles here, and you can see them, you know, quite a lot more of them because they've shown up because I've just changed the exposure on Photoshop. So that's where we are. Now the other thing to note is this riv nut is incorrectly, okay, so you can see where it's compressed there. Yeah, this one isn't, because it's not compressed at all. So whoever's done it, it's the Friday afternoon frame, and they haven't even bothered to do the riv nut properly. Right, so that is the Friday afternoon frame, and then we come on to the next slide. Right, this is that M5 riv nut, and you can see the thin material, so all the way around along here, I'm going along here, see like an area of black, so in the middle of that, it just not really moving the pen very well. It's really difficult for me. That is an area where it's thin, so the carbon is likely, don't know for sure, carbon has moved. In that case, it's basically a void. And then this riv nut is correctly installed. That's the only other thing I wanted to say, really. And then we come on to this one. So this is another shot of it. Now, when you're taking a shot, you don't know where the defect is. So you've got no sense of depth. So as you look at a screen, you are focusing on, I don't know, a meter away. When you take an x-ray, you don't know where to focus, so that causes difficulty trying to, you know, you get blurry images. So this is, you almost get double images. So that's why well, this is there. So this again is the correctly installed riv nut, and this one on the other side is the not correctly installed riv nut. Now, if you look through here, you can see, you know, features. There's a pinhole there, and then you can also see this area here. So that is effectively the length between the two ball holder bolts, and then the pinhole, and then again, that's the extremely thin area. Now, if you zoom in on that, which is here, and I did post this and ask people for comments, and they'd all noticed this. Some of the others actually noticed that as well. Now that is delamination. So that is, or void, I don't know how you want to call it. I mean, the reason why people would describe that almost as delamination is because of the Z dimension, we call it Z, people will call it different things, is actually expanded. So the outside is like that, the inside layer, I'm exaggerating this, has done that. Okay, so you've got an area of nothing. Now, just to erase the ink. So this is the delamination. So that's where it is. Now, the thing with any of this is by having a void, it's not really much of an issue until you decide or realise what's going to be done. So there's a few things, you know, it's a gravel bike. It's liable to much more vibration, side impact forces and all that kind of stuff versus a normal bike. So, you know, if you hang it up on your wall, is it dangerous? No. Okay, it's not. If you go and ride along, is it, in my opinion, dangerous? Yes. So that's, you know, that's why I've justified my, well, I don't even need to justify myself. That's my opinion. And that you can see the background from where that's come. Now, people on the internet, free to make your own mind up as to whether that's dangerous or not, you know, be my guest. But that's my opinion, and would I ride it? Absolutely no. You can also see from the previous video that I showed of someone else's bike, the chances are that defects around the bottom bracket, probably around the build-up, are not unique. So you'd be foolish to think they were unique and isolated to one bike. It's just whether people detect them or not. Then we come on to the kink. Now the kink is this bit. So this area around here, which is basically like a dog leg. Yeah. When you put the kink in there, and I said this, I said it weakens it. It's more likely to fracture there. Their comment on this was, our clients are of course aware of the rudimentary points you make in the video about the strength of the shape. Point. Your safety is rudimentary, and they agree the kink makes the frame weaker. So they've agreed with my statement. I don't know, like that. And then someone sent me this. Now, in English, or in English engineering, you'd talk about people organising a piss-up in a brewery and being incapable of it. In America, my favourite one is it's worse than a monkey fucking a football. Right, their customer service. Okay. This is what they said. Your allegation is that our client, that's Kessler, Vroomen and blah blah, ignored a warranty claim from the customer concerning dangerous voids. Now I'm going to play you a video to show you exactly what I said. The frame came and I explained to the chap in question what was wrong with it, and he went off to Open to ask them about a warranty claim, because to be honest, I would warranty this frame because I think it's beyond a joke. But anyway, he went off, did whatever he was going to do, discuss, and he told me to basically get on with it. Right, let's get back to this. Right. So they said, your allegation that our client ignored a warranty claim from the customer alleged concerning dangerous voids. And they went on, further said, this is straightforwardly false. The customer has confirmed that no warranty claim was ever made. The customer did leave a comment about his frame via our client's web form. However, this comment does not even mention the chain state or any other safety concern, and thus provides no justification for the seriously defamatory allegation that our clients ignored a warranty claim on a serious safety issue. Now, what other commenters have said, and this is my opinion as well, is it appears that the person went and left a note on their form, and Kessler and Vroomen didn't respond at all. So you've said, you know, you can see what I've said, which is basically the customer went off to speak to them, did whatever he was going to do, and then that was it. I didn't say anything about warranty claim, dangerous, or this, that, or the other. So anyway, there you go. So if you want to know grade A in fabrication, metal fabrication, carbon fabrication, or other types of fabrication, then, you know, give these guys a tinkle. And then finally, what beggars belief? Right, GDPR, right? I went and wrote to Kessler and said, you know, do you want to reply on the bottom of your video with whatever you want to put? I didn't get a reply from him, but in the intervening period, he's put me on his spam list. He's put me on his spam list twice. So I've got where's the fucking pen? I need to scroll over all of this shit. Here we go. New update. BOTM, whatever the fuck that means. Does anyone know what that means? Pistachio Wide Limited Edition Part 1. Oh. BOTD, turquoise is back, but somehow also not. Again, something else. So basically, they just put me on their sales list. I didn't ask to go on there, didn't opt in at all. And then another one, which is something about from Gerard Vroomen. Something about SKS who make bike pumps, making fenders or mudguards for their bike frames, yeah. If they take this any further, then I'll report them to the relevant authorities for well, basically flouting the rules. I just can't believe it. It's just complete incompetence. Just complete incompetence. So I send the guy a letter and he puts me on his spam list. Oh, what a clown. Right. Right, next steps. Right. I did ask. I don't really need it at the moment. The defence. If this ends up in court, then I'm going to crowdfund it. I don't think they'll take it any further. They'd be foolish if they did, but there you go. And then the final bit is, and this is quite important, if you buy an open frame of any description, they're basically saying that they make the frame to their own standards, okay, but they don't give you what those dimensions are. That is considered, certainly in this country, engineering negligence, because if you are designing an interface to someone else's, for someone else's product to fit, and I use the example, you know, car tyres, if you buy a car tyre with a 225/40/18, whether it's Pirelli, Michelin or whatever, it should go on the same wheel. And that's the same thing here, but what they're effectively saying is their BB386 Evo bottom bracket is a different size. They don't specify what size it is, so if it comes off, and let's face it, the bottom bracket cup just pulled out, they're saying that's normal. That's unsafe. So that's just basically, you've been sold a BB386 Evo frame, but it's not BB386 Evo, it's BB386 Evo / open, but it doesn't make any mention of that on their website, and I've taken a full dump of their website to use as evidence. Now, and also they've also said this in legal documentation, that they use their own sizing, but they don't specify what it is, so that's it. So if it does come to that, then what I'll do is I will set up a group litigation against them, so that if you have one of these open frames, you can be one of the claimants on there, and then we can take these guys a little bit further, and they may find that slightly more uncomfortable. So there we go. So that's it. So, you know, I apologise for spending this, you know, length of time ranting, but normal service will be resumed shortly. And as always, thanks very much for watching, and keep fucking those hairdressers.